Thanks children. I hope all are happy at home. So now today we can start with our third lesson. Fair Play, written by Munshi Premchand. Munshi Premchand was born on 1880 and lived up to 1936. He was an Indian writer and he has written many novels, songs as well as dramas also. Nearly he has written 250 short stories. Now let me introduce the characters of the story. We have four main characters here in the story: Juman Sheikh, Algu Chowdhury, Old Aunt and Samju Sahu. Here the main characters of the story is Juman Sheikh and Algu Chowdhury. These two are very close and thick friends. And the third character is Old Aunt. Old Aunt is Juman's aunt. And the next character, Samju Sahu. He is a cart driver in the same village. And this story is taken place in a village. Complete typical village it is. It has taken place in a village. Now we can move on to the story. Lesson 3, Fair Play, written by Munshi Premchand. Has your best friend ever done something which you thought was wrong? Have you got any such experience? Then what did you do? Did you keep quiet or correct your friends? Just recall whether you have got any such experience. Okay children? Now we can just move on to the lesson. Juman Sheikh and Algu Chowdhury were good friends. So strong was their bond of friendship that when either of them went away from the village, the other looked after his family. Both were greatly respected in the village. Juman had an old aunt who had some property. This she transferred to him on the understanding that she would stay with him and he would look after her. The arrangements worked well for a couple of years. Then the situation changed. Juman and his family were tired of the old relative. Juman became as indifferent to her as his wife, who grudged even the little food that the old lady wanted every day. She swallowed these insults along with her foods for a few months, but patience has its limits. Now, as I introduced the characters, Juman Sheikh and Algu Chowdhury are the main characters of the story. These two were very close friends. So thick was their bond. When one is absent in the village, the other one takes care of the family. And also, these two were greatly respected in the village. And Juman had an old aunt. Okay. And old aunt is having some property. Since she is little bit old, she thinks that she is not in need of her property. She thinks that she can just transfer her property to Juman. But one condition is there. Juman should take care of the old aunt in her lifetime. With that particular condition, the property is just transferred to Juman. And this agreement worked on well for a couple of years. Couple of years means near about 2 years. There was no quarrel, nothing. It was going on in a smooth way. Then all of a sudden the situation changed. Juman and his wife is very much tensed or is fed up with this old relative. Old relative is old aunt. Juman also started to show no interest at all. He just started to be indifferent towards this old aunt. and Juman's wife started to be grudged towards the old lady. That means the little food that she is giving to the old lady, she was giving it unwilling. So the old lady also, along with the food, she just swallowed the insult what she got from his wife. And this worked on for many days. There is a limitations for everything. So the old lady had some patience. The patience worked on well for some days, but she couldn't work out for many days. So she's thinking what to do next, and we can see what she's going to do next. Now we can learn the new words and their meanings. Bond, a close personal relationship between two people. A close personal relationship between two people. Here there was a close relationship between Algu Chowdhury and Juman Sheikh. Next one, transferred. Officially arranged for property to be given to someone. Officially arranged for property to be given to someone. Next one, indifferent, showing no interest. Indifferent, showing no interest. Next one, arrangement. The meaning is agreement. Arrangement, the meaning is agreement. Next one, grudged, gave something unwilling. Gave something unwilling. Next, swallowed, taken in. Swallowed, taken in. Here, insult was swallowed along with the food. Now we can move to the next paragraph. Comment on Juman's behavior. One day, she spoke to Juman. My son, it is now obvious that I am not wanted in your house. Kindly give me a monthly allowance so that I can set up a separate kitchen. My wife knows best how to run the house. Be patient, said Juman shamelessly. This made his aunt very angry and she decided to take her case to the village panchayat. For many days, the old lady was seen talking to the villagers, explaining her case and seeking their support. Some sympathized with her, others laughed at her, and a few others advised her to take it up with her nephew and his wife. At last, she came to Algu Chowdhury and spoke to him. You know, Chachi, Juman is my best friend. How can I go against him? Algu said. But is it right, my son, to keep mum and not say what you consider just and fair? Pleaded the old lady. Come to the panchayat and speak the truth, she said. Algu didn't reply, but her words kept ringing in his ears. Comment on Juman's behavior. One day, she spoke to Juman. My son, it is now obvious that I am not wanted in your house. Obvious meaning clear or easily understood. Anything which we can easily understand, that's called obvious. Kindly give me a monthly allowance so that I can set up a separate kitchen. Allowance means amount of money that is given to someone regularly. Allowance, amount of money that is given to someone regularly. In the last paragraph, we have seen that the old lady was insulted very much, and also she is very much tensed. So now she is just saying something to Juman. She is saying that with that insult, she can understand that she is not necessary in that particular family. So that she is asking Juman to give some monthly payment or give some monthly allowance to the old lady so that she can have a separate kitchen, so that she need not depend on anyone else for the foods. My wife knows best how to run the house. Be patient, said Juman shamelessly. Now, here Juman got angry and he's saying that my wife knows how to run a family. You need not interfere in such cases. This made his aunt very angry and she decided to take her case to the village panchayat. When Juman shouted to the old aunt, she got very angry. She's thinking what to do and she's taking a decision that she can take up this case to the panchayat. So what is panchayat? Panchayat is a kind of legal group in the village. Nowadays the problems are taken to the courts, but olden days it was taken to panchayat. So in the panchayat there are 5 learned members or elders. Those are wise men. Those people, they just listen to the commotions or problems and then it is cross-examined with others and a solution is given. That's how the panchayat is giving a solution to the problem. So now the old lady is thinking that she can take her case to the panchayat. For many days, the old lady was seen talking to the villagers, explaining her case and seeking their support. For many days, the old lady is just explaining what is her problem, just going to each villager and saying these are the problems that she is facing in the family. So, the villagers, each member is giving some solutions. So, now we can see what are the solutions given by the villagers. Some sympathized with her, others laughed at her, and a few others advised her to make it up with her nephew and his wife. So, here we can see 3 varieties of comment given. First one is, they just sympathized with her or just feeling sorry or pity for her situation. And the second group of people just started to laugh at her. And the third group of people just advised or giving an opinion that you just go on with the situation of your nephew and his wife. At last, she came to Algu Chaudhary and spoke to him. So, here who is Algu Chaudhary? Algu Chaudhary is the close friend of Juman Sheikh. So, finally, she is coming to Algu Chaudhary in order to introduce the problem. You know, Chachi, Juman is my best friend. How can I go against him? So, when the problem was introduced to Algu Chaudhary, at the first stretch itself, Algu Chaudhary is saying that Juman is my best friend and how can I go against my best friend? Will you all go against your best friend when he is in danger? So now we can see what is this Algu Chaudhary doing. Algu says, but is it right, my son, to keep mum and not say what you consider just and fair? Mum means silence. So even though you are close friend of Juman, how can you be silent in this situation? You be very truthful, pleaded the old lady. The old lady is kindly requesting you just be truthful. Come to the panchayat and speak the truth, she said. She is old aunt. So old aunt very kindly requesting Algu, you just come to the panchayat and speak the truth. Algu didn't reply, but her words kept ringing in his ears. Ringing was continuously repeating. Algu did not say anything, but old aunt's word was continuously just repeating in his ears. Now we can learn the new words and their meanings of this paragraph. Obvious, clear or easily understood. Obvious, clear or easily understood. Allowance, an amount of money that is given to somebody regularly. An amount of money that is given to somebody regularly. Here aunt is asking for a monthly allowance. Panchayats, a kind of legal group in the village. Panchayats, a kind of legal group in the village. Sympathized, felt sorry for somebody. Sympathized, felt sorry for somebody. Some village members just sympathized on aunts. Pleaded, requested. Pleaded, requested. Advised, give opinion. Advised, give opinion. Mom, keep silence. Mom, keep silence. Will Algu speak the truth? The panchayat was held the same evening under an old banyan tree. Juman stood up and said, "The voice of the Panch is the voice of God. Let my aunt nominate the head Panch. I will abide by her decision. The Panch knows neither friend nor enemy." "What do you say about Algu Chaudhry?" the old lady announced. "Fine," replied Juman, hiding his joy over this unexpected piece of luck. "Chachi, you are aware of my friendship with Juman," said Algu. "I know that," replied the aunt, "but I also know that you will not kill your conscience for the sake of friendship. God lives in the heart of the Panch, and his voice is the voice of God. God lives in the heart of the Panch, and his voice is the voice of God." The old lady then explained her case. "Juman," said Algu, "you and I are old friends. Your aunt is as dear to me as you. Now I am a Panch. You and your aunt are equal before me. What you have to say in your defense?" In the last paragraph, we have seen that the old aunt's words was just repeatedly going on in Algu's ears. Here we just want to know whether Algu will speak the truth or not. That particular evening, the panchayat was held under an old banyan tree. Where was the panchayat held? It was held under an old banyan tree. So Juman is just standing there and he is just saying, "The voice of Panch is the voice of God. The voice of Panch is the voice of God." Panch means the head of that panchayat is here mentioned as Panch. So here the solution given by Panch is the final voice, that is equal par with God. Chance is given to old aunt to nominate the head Panch, and Juman is saying Juman is ready to follow the decisions. The Panch neither knows friends or enemy. There is no friend or enemy for Panch. He is very truthful. "What do you say about Algu Chaudhry?" the old lady announced. The old lady just stood up and she announced the name of Algu Chaudhry as the Panch. So here it is very clear that Algu Chaudhry and Juman Sheikh, they are very close friends. Can Algu Chaudhry go against Juman? We can just guess what is going to happen. "Fine," replied Juman, hiding his joy over this unexpected piece of luck. Now, when Algu's name was just announced as the head Panch, Juman is extremely happy. He is just hiding all his happiness within himself, and he is saying that there is something unexpected luck he is going to get. What he may be thinking? He is thinking that he is going to get the judgment in favor to him. That's why here it is mentioned as unexpected piece of luck. He is completely sure that the judgment comes in favor of him. Here, Algu is selected or appointed as the head punch. Okay, now we can see what is the decision taken by Algu. Chachi, you are aware of my friendship with Juman, said Algu. Who's Chachi here? Old aunt. Okay, Algu is calling old aunt by the name Chachi and asking, you know very well about my friendship with Juman. And she's asking, why did you nominate my name? I know that, replied the aunt. But I also know that you will not kill your conscience. Conscience means the inner voice. For the sake of friendship. Now, Chachi or the old aunt, she's saying that she's very much clear about the friendship of Algu Chaudhary and Juman Sheikh. But she's also adding one more point with that. For the sake of friendship, nobody will kill their conscience. So that I know you will be very truthful. God lives in the heart of the Panch and his voice is the voice of God. So, once again, that same word is repeated. God lives in the heart of the Panch and his voice is the voice of God. The decision taken by Panch or the head of the Panchayat, that is the final decision. That decision is equal or par with the God's voice. The old lady then explained her case. The old lady is old aunt. Aunt just started to explain her case in detail in the Panchayat. Juman, said Algu. Now, second chance, it was Juman's chance to explain the case. So now Algu is saying to Juman, now you can explain your case. But before introducing the case, Algu is just pointing out some more points. You and I are old friends. Here you and I is Juman and Algu Chaudhary. These two are very close friends. Your aunt is as dear to me as you. Here Juman's aunt is very close friend of Algu. Now I am a Panch. Who is I? Algu. Algu is the Panch here. You and your aunt are equal before me. When I am a Panch or when I am in this position, you as well as your aunt, that is Juman, as well as Juman's aunt is in the same position, equal rank. What do you have to say in your defense? Defense means something is said in support to someone. Something which is said in support to someone. Here it is a chance now to introduce the case of Juman. Juman is just explaining his case in the Panchayat. New words and their meanings. Panch, head person, referred to as judge. Panch, head person, referred to as a judge. Nominate, formally name somebody to be chosen for an important role. Nominate, formally name somebody to be chosen for an important role. Here for example, we just nominate the class monitor. You can take that as an example. Abide by, accept and act according to law. Abide by, accept and act according to law or follow. Conscience, inner voice. Conscience, inner voice. Defense, something that is said in support of someone. Defense, something that is said in support of someone. 3 years ago began Juman. My aunt transferred her property to me. I promised to support her as long as she lived. I have done all I could. There have been a couple of quarrels between my wife and her, but I can't stop it. Now, my aunt is claiming a monthly allowance from me. This is not possible. That's all I have to say. Juman was cross-examined by Algu and others. Then Algu announced, "We have gone into the matter carefully. In our opinion, Juman must pay his aunt a monthly allowance, or else the property goes back to her. Now, the two friends were seldom seen together. The bond of friendship between them was broken. In fact, Juman was Algu's enemy and wanted his revenge. Days passed, and ill luck would have it. Algu Chowdhury found himself in a tight spot. One of his fine pair of bullocks died, and he sold the other to Samju Sahu, a cart driver of the village. The understanding was that Sahu would pay the price of the bullock in a month's time. It so happened that the bullock died within a month. In the last paragraph, we have seen that it was Juman's turn to explain the case in the Panchayat. 3 years ago began Juman. Here, which is that 3 years, 2 year, there was no argument or no fights. But after 2 years, that is after the property is transferred, after that, after 2 years, little bit of quarrel began between old aunt and his wife. My aunt transferred her property to me. So, before 3 years, old aunt gave all her property to Juman. I promised to support her as long as she lived. And also Juman is saying that at that particular time, he was ready to support or take care of the old aunt during her lifetime. I have done all I could. There have been a couple of quarrels between my wife and her. My wife is Juman's wife. Her is here old aunt. Juman was working very hard in order to cope up with the family. But suddenly what happened? There was some quarrels between Juman's wife and old aunts. But I can't stop it. Now, my aunt is claiming a monthly allowance from me. Juman was not able to stop the fight. Now, what is the solution here is, aunt is just demanding monthly allowance. Allowance, some type of payment given as money. This is not possible. That's all I have to say. So here Juman is saying Juman is not ready to pay monthly allowance to old aunt. So that's what he has brought here in front of the Panchayat. What is the solution to be brought? Juman was cross-examined by Algu and others. Cross-examined, questioned closely, or questioning with the help of some witness in order to get the correct judgment. So Juman was again and again questioned by Algu and other members present in the Panchayat. Then Algu announced, "We have done the matter very carefully." That means they have gone through the matter very carefully. Matter here is problem. In our opinion, Juman must pay his aunt a monthly allowance, or else the property goes back to her. So finally, the Panchayat or the head panch is bringing a solution to this problem. That is, first one, monthly allowance should be given to old aunts. Otherwise, all the property should be given back to her itself. Her here is, all the property should be given back to old aunts. In the last paragraph, we have seen that there was a judgment given by the head panch. That is, one is Juman should give back the property, or else he should give monthly allowance. So now, the two friends were seldom seen together. Who are these two friends? Algu Chowdhury and Juman Sheikh. These two were very close friends. Now, they are seeing only sometimes. Sometimes only they are meeting each other. That means they became enemies. The bond of friendship between them was broken. So, the close relationship between their friendship has been broken. In fact, Juman was Algu's enemy and wanted his revenge. Now, Juman became Algu's enemy. He just wanted to take revenge on him. Days passed, and as ill luck would have it, Algu Chowdhury found himself in a tight spot. Now, after the judgment, days passed by. Likewise, now Algu Chowdhury is getting bad luck or bad days. He is getting more ill. Would have it, Algu Chowdhury found himself in a tight spot, very difficult situation. Algu Chowdhury was in a difficult situation. What is a difficult situation? We can see one of his fine pair of bullocks died. One of his fine pair of bullocks. Pair mean two. In that two, one is dead. He had two bullocks. In that one is dead now. That's why here mentioned as ill luck. He's having some bad luck. And he sold the other to Samju Sahu, a cart driver of the village. One is dead and he's having one more bullock. What is he doing with that bullock? He's just selling that bullock to a person named Samju Sahu, who is a cart driver in the same village. To whom is that bullock sold? To the cart driver named Samju Sahu. The understanding was that Sahu would pay the price of the bullock in a month's time. It so happened that the bullock died within a month. So after selling the bullock, there was an agreement, the money or the amount of the bullock will be paid within a month. But what happened? Within that month, within that particular period of time, the sold bullock is also dead. But now, Algu Chowdhury is not aware of that, the death of the bullock, he is not aware. So now, in the next paragraph, we can see what is going to happen. New words and their meanings. Cross-examined, questioned closely. Cross-examined, questioned closely with some witness. Claiming, demanding. Claiming, demanding. Matter, problem. Matter, here we are getting the meaning problem. Seldom, rarely or sometimes. Seldom, rarely or sometimes. Revenge, something one does in order to make another suffer. Revenge, something one does in order to make another suffer. Tight spot, very difficult situation. Tight spot, very difficult situation. Ill luck, bad luck. Ill luck, bad luck.